They had everything: a perfect home, an open relationship with God, and a life of joy. But a single choice changed everything. After eating the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve, who once ran to meet their Creator, now hid among the trees, seized by a new and terrifying feeling: guilt. And it is in this moment of tension that the story of our world, as we know it, truly begins. God asks, "Adam, where are you?" And the answer is pure fear. "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." Instead of a plea for forgiveness, came justification. Adam blamed Eve. "It was the woman you gave me." Eve, in turn, blamed the serpent. "The serpent deceived me." This was the first domino effect of sin, the instinct to shift responsibility, to accuse others, and even to indirectly blame the Creator himself for our own failures. A pattern that repeats itself to this day. Then God pronounces the consequences. For the serpent, a curse, but also a prophecy of hope. God declares he will put enmity between the serpent and the woman, and that her offspring would one day crush the serpent's head, though it would be struck in the heel. This is the first promise of a savior in the Bible. For Eve, the consequence was pain and a shifted dynamic in marriage, where she would now be subject to her husband. The text reminds us that this submission, often distorted by humanity, was a consequence of the fall and not God's original plan, who created them as equals. For Adam, the ground was cursed. Work, which was once a joy, became toil. Thorns and thistles would symbolize the constant struggle to survive. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. Physical death was now a reality. But even in these sentences, we see a thread of mercy. The life of work and hardship, though difficult, was given as a discipline to curb the unbridled instincts that sin unleashed. It was part of God's plan to restore humanity. And access to the tree of life was cut off. Angels with a flaming sword guarded the way. Why? So that humanity, in its fallen state, would not live forever in misery. Physical death, paradoxically, became a limit to suffering and a door to a possible redemption. The fall in Eden explains the root of our world: the conflict, the hard labor, the tendency to blame others, and death itself. But in that very same garden, a promise was planted, that a liberator would come to restore what was lost. The fall explains our condition, but the promise points to the only solution. Share this video with a friend who needs to understand the origin of our guilt and the promise of our hope.